You know what? Maybe I too could be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to be ninja.
Assassin's Creed, the microtransaction store that occasionally has side quests, is taking its talents to feudal Japan, and after watching the amazing cinematic with zero gameplay, I'm going to make a review about something that didn't even come out yet. I'm calling this type of video the Ubisoft Special, where I rush the release of a video and 90% of it is painful to watch. The only thing I'm missing though is I don't have a female coworker to sexually assault with my rich musk of Axe body spray. Alright, let's start with the trailer and the incredibly based comment section. As you might have noticed, one of the two main characters is a black samurai, which is based on a real person, except Yasuke wasn't a samurai, he was a sword carrier. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was a samurai. Most of the records say he was a samurai, so I guess technically this Assassin's Creed game is doing something that no other game in the franchise has ever done before by being historically inaccurate. What? What? So I guess it totally makes sense for the comment section to rival an old folks home with who can be more racist.
Gonna say homie.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna say bro.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna say my babe.
Well, now you're just
Gonna
stereotyping.
say folk show.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the N-word.
I actually think the character choices for Assassin's Creed Shadows are really good. You have the Mulan type of character who's a female warrior, and let's be honest, who doesn't love Mulan? That movie was amazing. The animated one, of course.
What is that? What is that? What?
And then we have one of my favorite characters throughout history, Yasuke, which I don't really know if I'm saying his name correctly. I feel like his story hasn't ever gotten the respect it deserves. Like, we've seen Keanu Reeves as a samurai, we've gotten Tom Cruise as a samurai, we even got whatever this is.
You, sir, are a silly little man, and your hair looks like the tail of a pony.
But what does Yasuke get? A fictional animated Netflix show that nobody watched. This man rose to the ranks of samurai, served closely under Oda Nobunaga, a decorated war general, and did all of that in 16th century Japan. And let's be honest, these people till this day are still pretty racist. And before anyone tries telling me in the comment section that Japan is a utopia, an amazing people, America should strive to be like them, I will rebuttal with the fact that they have used panties vending machines on every corner like it's a McDonald's. Anyway, what was I talking about? All I'm trying to say is that I think Yasuke is an amazing historical figure that deserves a faithful adaptation to his life. And historically, he doesn't have a lot of records, so people don't really know much about his beginning, middle, or end, which I think makes him a match made in heaven for an Assassin's Creed game, because it would make sense if not a lot of people had records of his service if he spent most of his time as a ninja, or an assassin in this case. So like, if you're one of those people being a degenerate online, just stop talking. And if you really do feel like crying about black people, go to Synthetic Man's comment section. There's plenty of that going on, you'll fit right in. Alright, now that we got the history out of the way, let's talk about the gameplay. There are some huge red flags I noticed in an IGN article explaining the gameplay mechanics, and it's mostly just quotes from the head developers. So I'll start with the smaller problems and work my way up to the reason this game is going to be awful. So they're making the map the same size as Assassin's Creed Origins, which seemed to be the beginning of the pointlessly huge maps with little to do, but that's not really the problem I noticed. They say in the article that the majority of the map will be filled with castles that feel like an adventure to explore. So I don't really know if they're planning on making ridiculously sized castles or if they're just over exaggerating. And then we got the changing seasons mechanic that I'm sure most people probably know by now. But what you probably don't know is the seasons aren't actually changing. One of the developers was quoted saying the seasons change based on your progression in the campaign.
What?
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
You can't call it dynamic if it's always set to have the second chapter be winter. But who knows, maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but I just know that this is a Ubisoft game, and in true Ubisoft fashion, they're going to stretch the shit out of this game with pointless content by bringing back the Cult of Cosmos mechanic, or as I like to call it, the web of useless targets. And if you kill all 700 of them, you can get a 2-minute cutscene. It's pretty obvious that they're adding this feature as a way of making the game 200 hours long so they can hit some kind of quota or something. I don't know if they think it helps the game sell better, but whoever is doing this needs to seriously stop. The biggest problem with Assassin's Creed games right now is how bloated they are. And it's obviously just a way of scamming people into buying time savers because Ubisoft wanted to make the game hundreds of hours long. And another way they do this is by giving every character quests, and I say quests in quotation marks because they are not quests. They are go there, do this, come back, and I will say absolutely nothing of importance, and you will get a minuscule amount of XP and money that you can spend on absolutely nothing because everything cool is locked behind a paywall. From everything I've read, they're literally just taking from everything except the games people liked. Like, instead of combining the original trilogy with Black Flag and Assassin's Creed 3, let's just combine all the shitty games from Origins to Mirage and make an uninspired 300-hour-long Ghost of Tsushima ripoff. And with that, this brings me to my biggest problem / red flag. There are 15 studios working on this game. For reference, Skull and Bones, another Ubisoft game, had 11 studios working on it. That was thousands of people. What I'm trying to get to here is games like Ghost of Tsushima had 160 developers, Helldivers 2 had around 100, and Assassin's Creed 3 had a little over 300, which is a bit high, but nothing near the amount of people Ubisoft has been hiring to work on a single game. There's just simply way too many people working on one thing, and it probably explains why the games only felt more and more soulless as the years went on, because it went from 300 to 900 to 1500, and now I'm sure you can fill a small gymnasium with the amount of people they have working on this game. It's just ridiculous and incredibly pointless, kinda like the games they've been making for the past decade. But I don't want to be completely negative here. I will say one positive thing about the gameplay mechanics. They upgraded their game engine for the sole purpose of letting players cut anything in half. So I'm eager to see if they fulfill on that promise. And I mean, with that, I will give Assassin's Creed Shadows a negative 2,500 out of 10. 1 negative point for each person they did not have to hire to make this game. Gonna choke, don't choke no down.
You know, I think I too can be ninja.